From being one of the greatest R-rated movies of its time to being outshone by Morbius. My friends, today we will be going into the movie titled The Joker 2. I'm not really sure what the full name is, or Joker, Folie à Deux. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's French or some shit. But yeah, my bad. You see, the thing with this movie is that it wasn't supposed to be made, you know? Thinking that this movie was the sequel to Joker 2 was gonna be made is like thinking that Diddy's innocent, you know? It's cap. There's no way that movie was gonna be made at all. Nobody even thought, yo, shit, let's make a new Joker movie. Yeah, sure, people might fuck with the movie since they fucked with the first one, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you should make it, you know what I mean? Sure, it made a lot of money in the box office, you know? But point is, this movie did its thing. The movie Joker did its thing. It was good as a once-off type of movie. You enjoyed it. So now we got the sequel, which was dropped this month in October 2024. And a lot of people have their own critiques on the movie, as much as anybody should. And today I thought, let me supply myself and you guys with my own review. Cause thing is, when I decided to watch this movie, at first I heard people talking about it saying, oh nah, do not watch this movie, whatnot. But taking other people's opinions is crazy. Cause like, what if I'm actually missing out on something? But clearly I was completely wrong. That was a fucking bad idea. I wish I had my 2 hours back, cause there was no reason for that movie to even be released. Now let's go into the first part of this video, the plot. So the plot of this movie is basically, it's more of like a flashback type of recap movie, not necessarily like a sequel, as in like, you know how like sequels are supposed to continue a story. In this movie, it was no continuation technically. It was more of, we are recapping what happened in the previous movie, which is a very wild thing to do, but okay, sure. We'll see how that goes. So clearly the director of this movie didn't really know what to do, because clearly if you understood the plot of the first movie that you made, maybe you could continue that story and we could see like, is this like a standalone villain? He doesn't have like a Batman, since like, you know, Joker is Batman's villain. Is he just a standalone villain? Like, is he even like in a Gotham universe? Probably not, because there's nothing that ties Batman to anything here. Maybe that was the point of the movie, but they didn't do it successfully. So basically in this movie, Arthur, who's the Joker, at this point he's kind of struggling to be whether to be Arthur or to be the Joker. Where that's where the issue starts, you know, because like he believes that the Joker was never real. He just believes that he was always the Joker. The Joker was just a character that he made that didn't exist. Everything was just Arthur. That's what he told people. But thing is, the way that's fucked up is because as an audience, or even as the people that are in the movie, like in that universe, we're all drawn into the Joker persona, right? The issue comes when, sure, we are introduced to Arthur because we need the origin story, but now you're basically just taking the whole thing that we learned from that first movie and you're just basically saying, nah, fuck all that. This is the direction that we're taking this. There was no point in introducing anybody that's named the Joker. There was no reason for that. This was just all about Arthur. So the part 2 of the plot. The main part of this movie is to introduce Arthur to Harley Quinn. You know, we've all seen the posters. We all know who Harley Quinn is. You know, it's Lady Gaga. Again, we all know that this movie's supposed to be a musical. That's okay, you know? Some people like musicals. Personally, I'm not a big fan. I'm one of those few percentage of people who have never watched High School Musical. Are you gonna judge me? Probably. Do I really care? No. Musicals are corny and they're dumb. This movie, me thinking, oh shit, it's Lady Gaga. I'm not a big Gaga fan, but I know that she's great at like making music. I like some of the Gaga songs. With the music in this movie, they don't really tie into what's happening within the story. Like some of it does, you know, like, but majority doesn't. It's more like filler music. It only plays one part, which is to just fill up space. Because, again, I'm sorry for Joaquin Phoenix. My guy cannot sing for shit. He makes The Rock sound like Elvis. I don't know. As for Harley as a character, in this movie, she's basically in love with the Joker. You know, she doesn't really care about Arthur. She just cares about the Joker. This also ties in with the last statement that I made on Arthur and the Joker, where Arthur is trying to say there was never a Joker. It was always me. So that's I kind of like that conflict, you know, because like, what is Harley gonna like then? Like, is she gonna continue liking the Joker, or is she gonna move and see that, oh, Arthur was actually the Joker this whole time? Like, what the fuck should I do? That's where I thought this whole thing was gonna go, but clearly not, because you'll find out as soon as you continue. The director of the film was Todd Phillips. If you follow, you know the Hangover trilogy, he made that. So the thing about the Hangover trilogy is that the first movie was such a hit. People demanded like a sequel, obviously, you know, exactly like the Joker. Some people were like, nah, no sequel, please. There's no reason for any of that. But some people are like, sure, a sequel would be cool. Now, the sequel for Hangover dropped, and when that happened, people were like, it's not that great of a movie. I mean, it's alright, you know? And then they dropped the third one. And people were still like, yeah, okay, this shit is ass. Can't even cap, dog. This shit is bad. This man, at this point in his career, was like, I'm just gonna make one movie. But obviously, the Warner Bros. Fucking check pulled up, and he's like, maybe a sequel isn't a bad idea. And clearly, it did not work out in his favor. But, hey man, what are we gonna say? We did not be getting those Warner Bros. Fucking checks. Maybe I would have done the same shit. Now we're at a very major part of this movie where there's a very serious issue, which is the setting of these movies. Sure, the aesthetic is pleasing, you know? But you can't really save a movie just by the aesthetic. It also has to have a good setting, you know? See, this movie is set in a very dark place, which is Gotham City. And obviously, Joker did all that crazy shit. You know that he's going to Arkham Asylum. This movie is placed in only two areas, which is Arkham Asylum and the courtroom. Now, I'll get to the courtroom a little bit later. What happens in Arkham Asylum is that obviously he's stuck there because he did all this crazy shit. He killed people. And in the first movie, he was just a madman. So obviously now they caught him and they put him in Arkham Asylum. And there he's just going through it, man. You know, he's struggling with his mental health. He's just trying his best to keep sane, but it's hard, you know, because it's an asylum. That's where, I don't want to say crazy shit, but it's an asylum. But this is also where he meets Harley, you know, Lady Gaga. Now, the thing with Harley is that, you know, again, like I said, she's basically just using Arthur to get to Joker because she's in love with Joker, not Arthur. Now, in this part of the movie, it's a bit of a weird situation because that's where we kind of meet Harley. Again, Harley is extremely infatuated with the Joker and she's like, damn, you know, I need to talk to this guy. So eventually they meet together and, you know, I think they're in like this group of people that use like singing to voice out their issues. Obviously, Gaga's gonna be there, you know, because she's a singer. Obviously, that just makes sense. Harley starts to like adopt the Joker's persona, you know, she starts going crazy too. And then that's where she actually becomes Harley Quinn. And now we get to the courtroom scene. Now, in the courtroom scene, it's a bit of a weird situation because obviously Arthur has to defend himself. Well, the lawyer that he has to defend himself, but the lawyer is a bit of a situation. Now you see, this is where a situation arrives within the courtroom because now the lawyer for Joker, Marianne, is like, hey yo dog, by the way, yo girl, Harley, yeah, she's not actually crazy. You see, the thing is, Harley admitted herself into Arkham Asylum only because she wanted to get the Joker. You know, get to the Joker so that, you know, she can make him fall in love with her. But that's what she exposed, you know? So now the truth is out. Like, what the fuck? Harley kind of weird. What on? You know what I'm saying? But he still fucks with Harley, I guess. And he just decides to, you know what? Nah, fuck the lawyer. I'm gonna defend myself from now on. Now, Arthur starts going on rants and shit. On some, yeah, nah, these guards, by the way, yeah. They're fat, they're stupid, all that shit. They treated me badly when I was in Arkham Asylum. And you know what? The guards just took him back to Arkham Asylum because it was raps. You know, he was going on rants. Now he was just, you know, he was acting disorderly, if that's even a word. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, but he wasn't behaving in the correct way in a courtroom. So they took him back to Arkham Asylum. Now, that's where they assaulted him, you know, and they dragged him to a cell. Naked, dog. That was fucked up. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Big Homo was like just dragged into a cell naked, and I didn't want to see none of that, but alright. So now we are at the point of the movie where we do need a conclusion to Joker's crimes, you know, because that whole situation in the courtroom wasn't really, you know, it didn't really end. You know, we didn't really get to understand, like, is he going to jail? Is he gonna actually prove himself innocent? But like I said before, he was basically representing himself, which will never work out in court. Maybe it has before, but obviously not this time, big dog. It's raps. You killed a lot of people. But the thing with this situation is that Arthur is like, there was never a Joker. Me as an audience member, that shit just, like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like I said this shit before, like there was no reason for that. Like I grew into believing that the Joker's real, you know, and now you're just gonna be like, nah, that shit was never real. It was just me, big dog. Yeah, so the thing is, once this man decides to throw away the whole Joker persona, Harley is like, nah, fuck this dude, you know? I'm not into Arthur, I'm into the Joker. So she dips out on him, kinda, and big homie judge is like, nah, dog, first degree murder. Take this man to Arkham Asylum right fucking now. It's wraps. Right after that shit happens, a fucking car bomb explodes. Now, thing is, with the car bomb exploding, it's a bit of a situation where we don't know why it exploded. All we know is that it was just random, you know? We don't know if Harley did that or something, or like what. But I bet the car exploded. Cool. Let's move on with life. Now, Joker decides to dip, obviously, like anybody else would in his situation, and decides to go to Harley. Now, the thing with Harley is that bro isn't feeling Arthur like that, because Arthur isn't the Joker anymore, and she fell in love with the Joker. So now that's like a situation where she doesn't really know what to do, but she immediately just like, nah dog, I don't fuck with you like that no more, I guess. Now, after all this goes on, Arthur is then caught again by police, and they take him back to Arkham Asylum. Now, this is where a fucking spoiler that I was telling y'all about, I'm pretty sure I spoke about it before, but this is where it comes out of, dog. This is where shit gets crazy. See, now Big Homie's back in Arkham Asylum, and some fucking guy, dog, I watched this movie, dog. I swear on my life, I watched this movie, but I didn't see that guy in the whole movie, but I bet. Some fucking guy just pulls up and decides to stab the Joker to death. You know, he just decides, nah, fuck this nigga, and he just, you know, he just keeps stabbing him, and before he stabbed him, he told him a joke, bro, that only the Joker would get or some shit like that, but he just keeps stabbing him until Arthur is dead. When Arthur is dead, this is when this fucking dude takes the knife and starts carving a smile. Now, this is a shout out back to Christopher Nolan, I guess, because obviously this might just be the direction that they want to take this whole universe to, which is crazy, but I digress. My issue is that why would you just do that at the end, bro? Why would you introduce a character that would be pivotal to the movie at the end? There was no reason for that. You know, if somebody has to take the mantle of the Joker, at least introduce them, not maybe even as an antagonist, maybe even as the protagonist's friend or something, but introduce that character so that we can understand why this character wants to take over, you know, why he wants to be the next Joker. Now, a lot of people, you know, decided to give their own pointers on this movie and their own reviews and all that. Sure, the reason why you're watching this is not because of that. The reason why you're watching this is because you wanted to hear my opinion and maybe gain your own from this opinion. So with this movie, I'd like to say that it was bad, bro. It was actually really bad, and compared to how the first one was, it's not even comparable. Some people even said that was the best version of Joker. I mean, personally, Christopher Nolan till the day I die, but still, it also didn't need to be a musical. It also didn't have to be a fucking recap on the first movie. This wasn't even technically a sequel. It was a recap, but cool. I digress. My bad. Point is, it did not have to be a movie. It didn't have to be released. It had no point. It didn't do much for the story. All we know is that, cool. We are introduced to Harley Quinn and Joker's dead. And there's a new guy taking the Joker's mantle. Cool. That's literally it. Now, what I'd give this movie personally, I'm not gonna lie, it's like a 3 or 2, like a 2. Nah, let me give it a 3. Let me just be generous because I fuck with Jake on Phoenix and I fuck with The Hangover. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Thank you guys again for being here today. You know, it's my second video. I enjoyed making this one. I'll continue to make a little bit more. You know, school's been crazy. I do hope you guys enjoy your week, and I'll see you guys on the next release. It's been Low-Key Bad at Reviews.